Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure that you guys take a look at these two faces on my screen. Lord have mercy. I don't know how often we're going to have to do this where we talk about the narrative, which is mom's boyfriend. We talked about this all last year in 2020. And y'all know how bad 2020 was. Why would we come into 2021 still doing the same dumb stuff, right? And what we're talking about is, I believe that mothers have a great gift. They have an amazing gift, which is the gift of life. And I think that you have to take that gift very seriously. So with great reward and great compliments and comments and all of that stuff should come great responsibility. And what I think is we have a failure on that part, especially with this woman that you see with that black eye right there, who I can almost guarantee you that she probably got it from walking into a door, or she fell down the stairs and hit her eye on something curved, right? More than likely, it's probably due to the fact that her boyfriend punched her in the face for, I don't know, I guess being stupid. But nonetheless, these two idiots that y'all see on my screen, we have a website called momsboyfriend.com. I promise you guys that website really exists. Go to momsboyfriend.com and you will see that it's a real website that's dedicated to situations like this, because it happens so often that we have to have a specific focus on the type of death that these mothers are having to their children. The woman that you see on my screen, let me see if I can get her face back up there. That was actually the document. That big old nasty looking woman is 30 years old. Oh my goodness. Wow. Come on, guys. Let me show y'all her solo photo. Let me see if I have a solo of her by herself. I might not have one. I guess I don't. Y'all look at that woman on the right-hand side of my screen. Y'all tell me this woman is 30 years old. She looks like she could be somebody's great-grandmother. Wow. She literally looks like she's a good 60. This thing says she is 30 years old, and her name is Leslie Curtis. 30 years old. I would never have guessed that. But anyway, her and her boyfriend, not her husband, not even the baby's father, just some dude she came in and she liked to sleep with, and I guess she thought that that would make this man a suitable candidate to put her children around. His name is Kennedy-McLeod, and he's 29 years old, and allegedly killed her son by the name of Delmore Best Curtis, who was found dead and covered in burn and bite marks at a hotel on Friday. So I'm going to tell you guys this. I know a lot of people like to get on to me and tell me I need to be more professional. They don't like my commentary. They want me to just get to the story. Well, last time I checked, this is not a news station. I'm just speaking my words and my thoughts on these horrendous things that happen to kids. If you want the story without my commentary, I don't even know why you're here. Most of everybody here wants to know what I think about these stories, okay? So I know that's not everybody. But nonetheless, this kid that y'all see on my screen, and it was very hard, next to impossible, to find pictures of that little boy. Matter of fact, can I make this picture bigger on the screen for y'all? Y'all give me a moment. Because I really want to make this a big point about my story. I want y'all to look at this little boy. This boy looks about as innocent and harmless as any child has ever looked on my channel. Y'all look at this little boy and tell me, what could this little boy have done so bad to deserve a horrible life that his mother gave him and deserve the punishment of having to deal with her boyfriend? What could a face like that have done that was so bad to meet a demise this horrible? If you ask me, I say there is absolutely nothing that this kid could have done. Let me go ahead and move on with my story before I get mad and say some things that'll probably get me flagged down. Anyway, police said that the early stages of the investigation have revealed Curtis and McCrory violently abused that boy for at least 10 days prior to his death. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Do you guys understand? Not 8, not 9. Do you guys understand where I'm coming from? 10 days. I want y'all to understand why I say 10 days, and I want y'all to understand the gravity of the 10 days. Because y'all know in these situations, the moms always come out and make it seem like they didn't have no choice or they didn't know what was going on, right? 10 days, she absolutely knew, okay? She participated. She is complicit. She deserves as much time in jail as he does. And it makes me wonder, when in this world are we going to start making the people who put their children in precarious situations, when are we going to hold them just as accountable as the abusers? Because it's just like I told y'all about the Thug Zoo. Do y'all know what the Thug Zoo is? Some of the people in the chat do, but not everybody does, because some people are new. And if you're new, make sure you click that thumbs up, share the stream, let other people know that we're live talking about this story. Our goal is 400 thumbs up, so if you can get us there, cool. If not, I understand. But I want to tell y'all about the Thug Zoo. And I also want to point out the fact that this man has facial tattoos. And I told y'all that I personally believe, it's not all, it's just my personal opinion, but I think people with neck tattoos, face tattoos, don't give a crap about life. And I think that it might be something a little bit off, a little bit odd about them, a little bit abusive about people who do things like that. And it don't mean it's all, but it's too many. It applies to him. You can't say I'm wrong about him. Can't say I'm wrong about her. The Thug Zoo is where the mom decides to take her child out on a fun outing because mama wanted to go and the kid ain't got no choice but to go. And mom says, oh, look at that awesome, beautiful looking lion. I think that lion is so cute. Oh, look at the little lion. Yes, he is the little thug lion. He's so cute. Little cheeks. And mom takes her child, her son right there that you see on my screen, takes her son and puts him inside of the thug lion cage. And that thug lion mauls and kills her son. But yet we're supposed to feel some type of sympathy, empathy. We're supposed to feel bad for Leslie Curtis, the mother, for taking her child and putting her child in a dangerous situation. Also, I did not mention that this happened at a hotel for 10 days. Can we put that in the proper perspective for a moment? This happened at a hotel for 10 days, and we got to talk about that shitty hotel that they were in, by the way. I don't know. Look, the Thug Zoo is the nicer version of what I used to say. So if some of y'all have been listening for long enough, some of y'all know what I actually used to say. So I had to clean it up a little bit so I can stay on YouTube. I don't want to get flagged down because I do really want to educate people and mothers because I care about you guys so much. And I want mothers and parents and people to just make better choices. Okay? Now, both of them are arrested and charged with capital murder. Both of them. And I say, thank you, because they both deserve it. Capital murder could get you life in prison or the death penalty. Okay? Now, there are evil people in this world, Irving police officer Robert Reeves said. And this is some of the side effects of them being around children of what happens. Now, Friday evening, police were reportedly called to the Magnuson Hotel off Highway 183, where they found the little boy Delmore laying on the bed, unresponsive, with noticeable injuries. First of all, if anybody knows anything about hotels, y'all know, as well as I do, that if you have to check into the Magnuson, 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 is it Magnuson? Yeah, I said that right. The Magnuson Hotel is a crappy hotel. Yes, it's the bottom of the barrel. Let me see if I can show y'all a picture of the Magnuson Hotel. This ain't no 5-star hotel. It's not a 4-star. It's not a 3 or 2 or 1. This hotel shouldn't have any stars at all. This hotel should not exist at all. Huh? Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Look at this. Gross. Let me zoom in. Let me give y'all another glance. Look at this. These are hotels that were built in like the 1840s that should not exist. The 1840s is when these hotels were built, the Magnuson. Why do they even exist? Y'all know what goes down at the Magnuson Hotel. Maggots, bed bugs, and death. Maggots, bed bugs, and death. Somebody can post that in the chat, yes? Let's keep going. It's pretty bad. From bite marks to burn marks to fingernail marks. You can tell that he was choked before there were fingernails, because there were fingernail marks around his neck. Damn. Some of them are so graphic, it's kind of disgusting to even talk about them. Now, according to the arrest warrant affidavit, the little boy had blood on his head, facial swelling, and obviously broken left arm. Less than 30 minutes later, the little boy, Delmore, was pronounced dead at Children's Medical Center in Dallas. So yes, Dallas takes another L. Texas takes another L. It's a damn shame. We're not even 13 days into 2021. Police said that the little boy lived with his mother, Leslie, and her boyfriend, Cody, at this hotel since last November. That is a crime in itself. Let me tell you why. And I know some people might get mad about what I say. So if you get mad, I get it. I understand. But let me say this real quick. Let me say this. I hope y'all don't mind. Women in this world, in our society, in the United States of America, have a lot of opportunities that single fathers do not have. Can I tell y'all some of those things for a moment? How about Section 8? How about food stamps? How about energy assistance, car vouchers, child support? How many other things am I missing? What is it? Medicaid? What other things can y'all name? I'm trying to think of some other things that the government provides us as help. Excuse me, not us, the women, single mothers specifically, because it ain't a lot of single fathers that are getting that much help. Last time I checked, single fathers are getting their foots put in their neck, let alone help. But these mothers end up getting a lot of help, and they still make bad choices. I don't understand how somebody can hand you help, H-E-L-P, can hand you help on a silver platter, and you take it and you just smack it away. You just don't give a crap. And you say, you know what? As much help as I am getting, I just don't care. I want to be a failure, and I'm going to make sure that my kid is a failure, and I'm going to make sure that any man who decides to sleep with that big old nasty water bug looking woman right there, I'm going to make sure that any man that messes with her is a failure as well. Huh? That's horrible. And not only that, why were they in this hotel since November? That alone should be an arrestable offense. But let's move on. Let's move on past that. The male described the fact that he kind of pushed the little boy, and I guess he hit his head on the bed, and then he pushed him again, and he hit his head against the wall. And that's what Reeves said. He went unconscious at that point, and then he tried to put him in a shower to wake him back up, but that was unsuccessful. Some of y'all have been listening to me for long enough. Past 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. How many times have we presented that exact same scenario where the caretaker, the parent of the boyfriend, always says that somehow the kid was clumsy, fell, and they put him into a shower, a cold shower, to try to wake them up. How many stories? Last night, I actually tried to count last year about how many stories we talked about just like that, and I actually lost count. I couldn't even figure out how many stories we did just like that. Some of our biggest stories, like one I think is like 275,000 views of the woman in Houston, and it wasn't even Big Belly Bowens. It wasn't even her. It was some other mother. But they beat these kids up, blame the injuries on the kids, and then so-called put them in a cold shower. I don't know. It's just weird. Anyway, Curtis told police that McCrory beat her too. Curtis had a black right eye, which y'all can see from that picture right there, and significant bruising to the left side of her face. Curtis had seen the defendant kick the victim, the little boy, in the head on more than one occasion. So the mom watched the boyfriend kick her baby in the head, and she didn't do shit about it. I want y'all to think about that. She also claimed that McCrory would bite her son, would bite him. But guess what? She didn't do shit about that either, okay? Now, if the child moved while being hit or beaten, the boyfriend would sometimes bite the child to teach them to quit moving. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. Y'all know I believe that you should not spank your children. Keep your hands, feet, and other objects off children. If you can't raise children without physically beating them up, spanking them, or hitting them, then I don't think that you should be a parent at all. I think you're too stupid to be a parent if you got to hit somebody in order to get them to even reason with a child, right? Thought you were the parent. Why do you got to beat somebody up? You can't beat your wife up, can't beat your boyfriend up to get them to do what it is that you want them to do. That's illegal. You could go to jail, but you could hit a kid? How does that even make any sense when children can't defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers? But let alone that, I want to reiterate. Not only did he beat this child up, but he said in order to make this child behave, this man would take his nasty, COVID-filled mouth and bite this child on the skin. Bit a human being. What in the fuck is that supposed to teach a child? Maybe I'm just crazy or just plain stupid, Lieutenant Dan. But I don't seem to understand how that's supposed to teach anybody anything. That's just ridiculous. Also, let's make this a little bit worse, because I told y'all this little boy was what? 8 years old? He's 8 years old. Check this out. Curtis and McCrory have been in a relationship for about a year and moved into the Magnuson Extended Stay Hotel together with the boy in November, and the child was not enrolled in school. He was not enrolled in school. That just makes it even worse. But like I say, they're both facing capital murder charges, and I hope that they get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. Let me take a look at it's basically one news video. Here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And again, guys, don't forget, don't let these babies go without a voice. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up if you're listening. Bring more people, share their story, okay? Here we go.
It's pretty bad, from bite marks to burn marks to fingernail marks. You could tell that possibly was trying to be choked before because there was fingernail marks around the neck. Some of those are just so graphic that it's kind of disgusting to even try to talk about.
Couple for the capital murder of an 8-year-old boy.
Police say Leslie Curtis and her boyfriend, Kennedy-McLeod, violently abused the boy for at least 10 days before he died. Fox 4's Lynn Wynn spoke with police about the awful crime. Lynn.
Yeah, Steve and Heather, we did speak to Irving Police today about this investigation, them calling the little boy's marks on his body horrific and compared them to torture. Police were called to the Magnuson Hotel where the boy was staying with his mother as well as her boyfriend. They found him unresponsive on the bed, but with bite marks, bruises, and burns all over his body, some new, others healing, which indicated to them that the abuse had been going on for some time. Now, this happened on Friday evening. Police were called out to that hospital, and we want to show you that story now.
Here we go.
There are evil people in this world, and this is some of the side effects of them being around children of what happens.
Friday evening, Irving police were called to the Magnuson Hotel off Highway 183 and found 8-year-old Delmore Best Curtis unresponsive laying on the bed with noticeable injuries.
It's pretty bad, from bite marks to burn marks to fingernail marks. You could tell that possibly was trying to be choked before because there was fingernail marks around the neck. Some of those are just so graphic that it's kind of disgusting to even try to talk about them.
According to the arrest warrant affidavit, the little boy also had blood on his head, facial swelling, and an obviously broken left arm. Less than 30 minutes later, he was pronounced dead at Children's Medical Center in Dallas. The medical examiner ruled his death was caused by blunt force trauma. Police say the little boy lived with his mother, Leslie Curtis, and her boyfriend, Kennedy-McLeod, at the hotel since last November.
Mel described the fact that he had kind of pushed the little boy, and I guess he hit his head on the bed, and then he pushed him again, and he hit his head against the wall. I think he probably went unconscious around that point, and then he tried to put him in a shower to get him to wake back up, but that was unsuccessful.
Curtis told police the abuse happened over the last 10 days and claimed McCrory beat her too. The affidavit says Curtis had a black right eye and significant bruising to the left side of her face, and Curtis had seen the defendant kick the victim in the head on more than one occasion. She also says McCrory would bite her and her son.
If the child moved while being hit on or beaten, then the male would sometimes bite the child to teach them to quit moving.
Police say his mom moved to Texas to be with McCrory, and the little boy was never enrolled in school, making it more difficult for anyone to report or notice the abuse.
They know the difference between right or wrong. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Police urging anyone who suspects abuse to report it and prevent something like this from happening.
Don't take the attitude of, I don't want to get involved, because you may be the only person that can save that child's life.
And we did check with the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. So far, it does not appear the state or the police have any prior reports on this family.
You know what? And here's my thing. It makes me wonder as we close this thing out. The reason why there weren't any reports is because somebody saw something and didn't say something. You cannot tell me that this woman did not have family. The responsibility really falls on the mom and their side of the family, because they knew. Like, you don't go live in a hotel month after month after month after month and nobody knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would think a concerned family member or cousin or whatever the case is. It's funny how they always come out when somebody else did something to these kids or something happens, and they looking for GoFundMe money, huh? Yeah. Then all of a sudden the family comes out and acts like they were super concerned. But I'm going to tell y'all something. That's real sad. This little boy looks like he was a very bright kid. He seemed like a very nice kid. This little boy could have grown up and he could have become anything. And I'm going to tell y'all, since the mom hated this boy that much, then why not just give custody to the biological father? You know why? Because the mom wanted to continue to collect the benefits that she could collect from her son on behalf of the fact that she had a kid. That's the only reason she had this kid. She never loved him. She never had any love for her son. Because she had him babies for benefits. That's why I have this shirt on as a reminder. And these shirts, you could also get these shirts to let people know what you are taking a stand against. We take a stand against people who only have children for the benefits that they can get off of these kids. That is absolutely insane. As a matter of fact, let's not take this dude, this idiot right here, McCrory, off the hook. Like he's Hannibal Lecter's evil spawn. Like Hannibal Lecter could have been this dude's daddy. Like, is you discipline your child by biting them and chewing on them and shit like that. Like it don't even sound right when you say it. And I just think, in my humble opinion, and I'm going to continue to say this, and I'm glad that more people are sharing my saying, there is a special place in hell for both these two people. And I hope that Texas will make this wrong or right and give them the fullest penalty under law, especially the fact that this boy was under 10 years old. That should also fall under super aggravated child abuse laws. So I hope that they go ahead and get them the hell up out of here. I'm DJ Just J. We're the AFC, where we advocate for children first. Let me put some respect on that little boy's name. Again, let me give y'all his name. His name was Delmore Best Curtis. Let me see if I can get his picture back up here. That little boy, Delmore Best Curtis, 8 years old, young prince. R.I.P. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up. Don't let his memory go in vain, okay? Click that thumbs up. Share these stories. Make a difference. Don't talk about the change, be the change, okay? Now, guys, I have two more stories that I want to talk about real quick if y'all do not mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch to our next story. And these are never easy. They're never easy. Let's talk about... I'm going to talk about a dynamic. Something I usually don't talk about. Teenager love. And this is something that me and my daughter talk about because I do have a teenager. Y'all might not think I'm that old, but I am the father of a teenager. So shout out to my daughter. Shout out to my baby. This girl isn't that much older than my own daughter. That kind of make me feel old saying that. Because that girl was 17 years old. So she's technically still a child, even though she was on the cusp of being legally grown, okay? But she made a detrimental decision, which is like what a lot of girls do. I know a lot of women out there that have followed their heart, and it led to them being physically harmed. And I know how devastating that can be, which is why I use my channel to continue to try to educate our young women, our young princesses, not to go down this road. You don't have to. There is no man that is worthy of you suffering abuse for. It's not worth it. So that's what I'm here to talk about, okay? We're going to talk about this young love that went awry. Let me go ahead and talk about this story. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't know why I don't have it up here. That's not it. Y'all give me a moment. Let me pull her story up real quick. Let's go. You know what? Actually, I did have the story pulled up. Let me go over here. Here we go. Let's talk about this. Matter of fact, how many people are watching? Guys, our goal is 400 thumbs up. We're almost there. We're 103 thumbs up short of reaching our goal of 400 thumbs up. So if y'all will, when y'all come in, do me a favor and click that thumbs up. It'll help share the stream and let more people know that we're live. So continue to keep doing that. And like I said, I'll start going live a little bit earlier. So I'm sorry that we're live so late. I know a lot of people got to go to work and all of that good stuff. But like I say, try to help us out. Get us to our goal. We're at 297. So we're very, very close, okay? Let me say thank you real quick to Leanne Engel, always showing love. And Leanne took on the $20 challenge. And she said, keep up the great work and keep speaking the truth. AFC family appreciates you. And Leanne, I truly appreciate you as well. Always showing love. Let me also show some love to Candy Marmon. If you are listening, took on the $40 challenge. I'll just read it out. And I'm going to say thank you very much. And that came by way of Cash App. So if you are listening, I want to say thank you very much, Candy. We have Guiltless showing some love. Said, keep grinding, Just J. Peace. Guiltless, is good to see you in the chat. And thank you for coming by and showing a little bit of love to your boy. And I'm truly honored. So thank you. Thank you also to EDJ17 in the chat. Thank you to Teresa. Tina Malone, if you're listening, said, I love everything that you do. It's always facts. So Tina Malone and PayPal, thank you very much. And I think that's everybody so far. Okay. Let's talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, with this particular story, it hits kind of close to home for me because, you know, I have a teenage daughter. I am a father. I do care. I watch what a lot of young girls, a lot of women go through when it comes to these violent relationships. And sometimes you get so caught up in your feelings and your emotions that you really don't see the yellow flags and red flags until it's too late. And it can cause a lot of bad stuff to happen. And I don't want any women to suffer. I want to make sure and protect them. But I think you can arm yourself with information. And you have to be able to listen to men, especially when it comes from a man giving you game about other men, right? With this particular situation, we have a young girl, and it breaks my heart for a couple different reasons. First of all, if my big sister in Florida is listening, I want to say I love you, and I miss you. I'll see you soon. But my big sister actually suffered a loss because her husband, and shout out to TD if you're listening, brother, I love you as well. But he lost his daughter almost in the exact same fashion. As a matter of fact, it was actually very close to Florida, okay? Because this happened in Georgia. But they ended up losing their daughter because their daughter was dating an individual who lost his damn mind and murdered her, okay? This story is so similar, which is why it really hits home for me in a lot of different ways. A Middle Georgia family had stopped to visit their mother's gravesite over the weekend when they discovered the body of a Metro Atlanta teenager, a female, who had been shot to death. Now authorities say that the man responsible is in custody because initially they didn't even know who it was that did this, okay? The individual, because he's not a man, he's not even a human. Let me see if I can get his face back up here. Hold on. That dummy that y'all see on my screen right there, again with neck tattoos. Y'all can get mad at my opinion about neck tattoos and face tattoos all the hell you want to until y'all can prove me that I'm wrong about what I'm saying. I think it's something wrong mentally with people that got damn neck tattoos. It's a bad sign, especially when you're 22 years old. That this grown ass dummy, this individual's name is Jalen Jashad Ray, 22 years old, of Albany, and he was captured in Tallahassee, Florida on Wednesday morning after investigators received a tip linking him to the death of that girl that you see on my screen, her. That is 17-year-old Deshanti Kiani Hunter. I'm going to just call her Deshanti Hunter. 17 years old. She's a beautiful girl, by the way. That young woman is a very beautiful woman. And she's just young. I believe she had her whole life ahead of her. Lamar County Sheriff Brad White said, the Ellenwood teen was found in the back of a Barnesville cemetery. That's how demonic that individual is. He shot her and killed her and left her in a cemetery. Y'all know how sick that is? And they found this girl laying on the ground on her back in a cemetery on Sunday afternoon after the family visited their loved one's grave, the sheriff said. Deputies were called to the cemetery around Unionville Church near High Falls State Park around 2:30 p.m., approximately 24 hours after Hunter was last seen. They looked at the back of the cemetery about 100 yards away and thought somebody had dumped trash or something. So they went back there and they saw that it was a young lady laying on the ground. Now, of course, we're not going to show you that picture because it's really not in good taste to show that. I'm not going to show that. They immediately left and called 911. White told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution there aren't many homicides in the rural area, in the rural county, and that locals were surprised by the grisly discovery. I don't know how rare it is in metro Atlanta, but it's definitely rare for us, he said. Now, the girl, Hunter, was found on her back with at least one gunshot wound. The tire tracks were discovered nearby, but investigators are still working to determine if the teen was killed there or if she was shot somewhere else and then dumped at the cemetery. Now, the tip was received that afternoon that led detectives to Albany, where a search was conducted at Ray's mother's apartment. So this little punk-ass boy right here was a coward, and he ran to his mama's house after he killed his girlfriend. Yes, he is a punk-ass coward. He's not a man. Ran to his mama's house. That ought to tell you about the mentality of these ignorant-ass thugs. Because guess what? When you date thugs, you date death. That's actually one of our hashtags. There's a reason I say that. Stupid is as stupid thugs. Right? There's a reason I use these hashtags, because I want people to understand how insane it is for you guys to continue to keep doing something that you see is causing these young women's demise. Now, I want to also give a shout out to the person that saw something and said something, realized that something was wrong, realized that he went to go hide at his mama's house and told on his ass. So kudos, because he didn't deserve to be hid, and his mama deserves to have her ass whooped for hiding her son like that. Anyway, the 22-year-old's car was seized by the GBI. Investigators discovered not one, but two guns inside his vehicle, but they're still working to determine if either was used in the teen's shooting. They're also checking to see if his tires matched the tracks that were left at the crime scene. They uncovered enough evidence at the apartment to secure murder warrants for Mr. Ray, White said. The South Georgia man was captured in Florida at about 11:30 a.m. Wednesday with the help of U.S. Marshals Service. Now, investigators are still trying to figure out how the two of them knew each other. I'm telling y'all, it was her damn boyfriend. I don't need to hear from the family. Let me see. I got a few pictures that shouldn't be in there, but it's okay. I don't need to hear from the family. I don't need confirmation from anybody. I'm telling y'all, what he did was evil. It was enraged, and it was a crime of passion. What he did was probably because this insane individual, was dating that 17-year-old girl. I want y'all to remember that he is, 22 years old? Yep. That sounds about right. This young, cute girl and this thuggish, ruggish looking dude right here, that sounds about right. Sounds like a match made in heaven, right? But they say they're still trying to figure out how they knew each other and how Hunter ended up 40 miles away from her home. So I'm assuming probably what he did was she probably said that she was going to break up with him, and he kidnapped her and drug her off and went and shot her and killed her. So I'm going to skip this part where it says they don't know what their relationship was. I'm telling y'all, that's probably what it was. Ray, who was charged with murder and aggravated assault, is being held at the Leon County, Florida jail as he awaits extradition to Georgia. White said he's relieved an arrest was made so quickly, calling the GBI and the Marshal Service a huge asset in cracking this case. I'm glad it happened so quick because coming from Atlanta 40 miles away, we thought maybe it was just a body dump, the sheriff said. We didn't know if we were even going to be able to tie it to anybody. So I'm glad that they were able to figure that out. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Sad, man. Let's get it.
The sheriff says he's confident his investigators will make an arrest in the murder of a teenager found shot to death in a cemetery.
But this one is a mystery. Her family says she left home in Ellenwood to travel just a few miles for work at a nearby Walmart, but never arrived. Her body was found at a cemetery in Barnesville. That's more than an hour away. Her family told Channel 2's Tom Jones they don't know how she got there.
We got along perfect. I love her so much.
Jasmine Johnson says her 17-year-old niece, Deshante Hunter, had dreams of going places. The teen's family can't understand how she ended up 70 miles away from home, dead in this Lamar County cemetery.
This is crushing us. They stole from us. This is wrong. This is wrong, more than wrong.
Jasmine says she talked to Deshante Friday. She was on the way to work. Then Saturday, family realized no one had heard from her.
It was a panic. Okay, Shanti, we haven't heard from Shanti later on, Saturday, and discovered her body on Sunday.
She was laying right here on her back. Her clothes were still on.
Lamar County Sheriff Brad White told me someone visiting their loved one's gravesite on High Falls Road noticed something strange. He quickly realized it was a body. Someone had shot Deshante.
Do you think they drove her here or they walked back here?
No. We had tire tracks. We feel quite confident that they drove her back here.
The question now is why. Jasmine wants anyone who knows who her niece was with and why to give officers a call.
And why did she end up at a place where she wasn't supposed to be instead of work? That would really, 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 really help us.
That was Channel 2's Tom Jones reporting. Now, Tom says the sheriff told him investigators have several people they want to talk with, and they're looking for them. He promises to solve Hunter.
Now to some other top stories we are following for you from around the metro today. Lamar County deputies have identified a Georgia teen found dead in a cemetery over the weekend. Deputies say they found the body of 17-year-old Deshante Hunter Sunday afternoon. She was in a secluded part of the cemetery across from Unionville Church on High Falls Park Road. We're told the Ellenwood teen had been shot once. Her death is now being investigated as a homicide.
New at 6, a disturbing murder case in Lamar County has resulted in an arrest after a teenager was found dead in a cemetery.
The girl's body was found Sunday. CBS 46's Yasmina Alston has details from the sheriff who spoke within the last hour.
A 22-year-old man is now in custody for the murder of 17-year-old Deshante Kiani Hunter, who is from Ellenwood, but her body was found over 40 miles away. This man, 22-year-old Jalen Jashad Ray, is facing a murder charge. He's accused of killing 17-year-old Deshante Kiani Hunter, whose body was found in a cemetery across from Unionville Church in Barnesville. The Lamar County Sheriff's Office says she had been shot. Lamar County Sheriff Brad White spoke with CBS 46 and says this type crime is shocking.
Yeah, crimes like this doesn't happen down here much. So, I don't know if it's terrible that it happens anytime. And if it happens here, we throw all of our resources at it. It's probably the reason we had an arrest within 48 hours.
Ray, who is from Albany, was arrested in Tallahassee, Florida on Wednesday. This picture shows Ray being taken into custody. Sheriff White says right now they don't know what the relationship was between the two. And the sheriff's office does say that warrants have been taken out for murder and aggravated assault. In DeKalb County, Yasmina Alston, CBS 46 News.
Yasmina.
And I know people might be wondering, why was a 22-year-old with a 17-year-old? Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's common knowledge to me, but that's pretty normal for somebody in their really early 20s to try to date somebody who was in their late teens. Like there have been larger age gaps. Maybe somebody who's 25 trying to date somebody who's 18 or whatever the case is. But if you've been a teenager and you've been in high school, then y'all know, or at least y'all should know, that high schoolers generally are always trying to date somebody older than them. I know I did. at 17 and 18 years old always dated older women. The girls always dated older boys. So that's actually very, very common. That's why I'm saying this was probably her disgruntled boyfriend.
Yeah, thank you.
Here are some other stories we are following around the state today. A man accused tonight of killing an Ellenwood teenager. 22-year-old Jalen Ray was arrested in Tallahassee today. He is facing murder charges in 17-year-old Deshaunty Hunter's death. Deputies tell us Hunter's body was found in a secluded part of a cemetery over the weekend. We're told she had been shot once.
Now, let me say this. I know there are people out there that think I'm wrong about my theory about when I say when you date thugs, you date death. But I'm going to call something out real quick if y'all don't mind. And this I found on Facebook. It's still there right now, which is, let me show y'all the picture that I had, which is this picture right here. I found this on Facebook. I just simply Google searched their names and this came up. And somebody is actually calling this this dude right here. They're referring to him as a gang member. So let me point something out when I say when you date thugs, you date death. They wrote, Lamar and Daugherty counties. Gang member from Albany, GA, Jalen Jashad Ray, a.k.a. J. Ray, arrested in Tallahassee, Florida, in relation to the murder of Deshaunty Kiani Hunter of Atlanta. The body of Deshaunty was found in a cemetery in Lamar County last week. Jalen Ray, a.k.a. J. Ray, is a member of a violent local gang in Albany, Georgia called the Rattlers, sometimes referred to as Sun Gang. The gang has criminal gang connections in Atlanta. The gang's primary hand sign, what people outside of the gang may call a surf's up hand sign. Their primary gang color of representation is, ready for it? Yellow. That's according to Community Watch North Georgia Atlanta Metro Area page, which is a public group, which is where I found the picture and the information. They're saying that, so it's hashtag not my words. That's their words. I'm just giving y'all the information to confirm my suspicion that this fool is a thug and an idiot and a waste of life and skin. He is a waste of time for any woman to have ever talked to him, dated him, courted him, been around him, tried to raise him. He should have never have been born. But to these young ladies, this girl was old enough to make decisions for herself. She was headed to work, and she was probably kidnapped by her boyfriend because he was pissed off about whatever the case is. And that's why I say to these young girls, and I teach my daughter as well as other young women and even some older women, I have to teach them the same thing. When you see these yellow flags and red flags, it's best to avoid them. You can judge a book by its cover, and for anybody saying that you should not judge a book by its cover is stupid. Stupid, stupid. Stupid is as stupid thugs. Absolutely judge a book. Judge a book as harshly as you want to until that book proves that it doesn't fall under those stereotypes. I don't see nothing wrong with that, because you know what that does? It puts the accountability on the person that you're judging, okay? And they have to outlive those stereotypes. It's not a bad thing. It would actually cause us to have better human beings, better citizens, better law-abiding citizens. And on top of that, for people who say that you should not judge, and they say the Bible says don't judge, how long have I been telling y'all Bible thumpers to stop quoting the Bible if you don't know what you're talking about? Okay, I used to be a youth counselor for Kennedy-McLeod camps back in the day, okay? This is an environment that I come from, and I can tell you guys, the Bible says, judge lest thou be judged. Meaning that whatever standard you judge somebody by, be prepared to be judged by that exact same standard. Jesus judged, God judges. Christian means a little Christian, Christ-like. So if we're to be Christ-like, then we should judge as well. That makes us better. Iron sharpens iron. Oh crap, did I just get to preaching? It's getting a little hot up in here. Maybe I know I might have lit a fire under somebody's behind right about now, but it's the truth. Y'all just let me know when I say something that's not factually accurate. I'm speaking out of love. I'm speaking out of experience. And I'm telling you guys, I've seen the streets. I've seen the gangs. I've been a part of a lot of bull crap in my life. And I think that the best person to try to teach the world and make the world a better place is somebody who comes from a mentality, from a not so reputable mentality, somebody who kind of comes and understands that mindset to be able to teach the next generation not to be like that. Every day we could wake up and make better decisions and choose to not either grow up to be like him, do stupid stuff like he did. And for that young woman, she could have easily have just avoided this individual. It's good to not get caught up with people like that. So like I say, you know, to the young ladies, continue to protect yourselves. Be careful who you date and make wise decisions, because those decisions could cost you dearly. So to that young woman, that young girl, R.I.P. Young Princess. I'm DJ Just Jay. We're the AFC, where we continue to advocate for our children first. Hopefully people can learn something from this. Y'all click that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and come back and come check us out. Because guess what, guys? We got a little bit more to talk about. Can I tell you guys one more story? And this one will be quick, and then I'll let you guys go, okay? I don't want to take up your whole night. I know some of y'all got to get to bed. Let me tell y'all one more quick story. About mama's boyfriend. How about that? Another one. Can somebody type hashtag another one in the chat, please? Anybody? Everybody? Another one. Is this the one? Let's see. 1, 2. That one. Yes, this is it. Another one. Mom's boyfriend. Let's talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, boy, oh boy, I don't know how many stories we're going to do in 2021. I hope no more than the story I'm talking about, but I'm sure it's going to happen again, because I just don't think that we're ready to change yet in America, in our society, in our world. And I pray that we do, okay? The individual that you see on my screen falls under a narrative that I've been talking about for, what, about 3 years now? Which is mom's boyfriend. A West Virginia man has been charged in the death of a 3-year-old boy who doctors say was the victim of shaken baby syndrome. The individual that you guys saw on my screen, let me get his big, fat, ugly face back up on my screen. Get back over, boy. That boy right there. This boy's name is Keith Kennedy-McLeod, who's 33 damn years old. Keith Kennedy-McLeod was arrested in Floyd County, Indiana, on a warrant from Jefferson County. He has been extradited to Kentucky and is now being held at the Louisville Metro Corrections. Chief Rick Sanders of Jeffersontown. Sorry, I read that real wrong. Jeffersontown Police Department said officers were called to another extended stay hotel. Damn. 2 stories in a row. Police were called to another extended stay hotel on November the 23rd about a child with burns. Kennedy-McLeod, that fool right there, who was dating the child's mother, and y'all know that they hid her identity, because y'all know they want these women to continue to keep living with anonymity. If y'all don't know what that means, they want them to be infallible. They want them to go in the world and nobody hold them accountable for nothing, because I just think that there is a conspiracy. I'm a conspiracy person. I believe there is a conspiracy for us to continue to keep doing this type of stupid shit to ourselves. Which is why you never really get to see the faces except for on my channel. But in this case, I'm not going to even spend half of my day trying to look it up, okay? But he was dating the child's mother and told investigators that he ran the child a bath and he ran hot water and then put the kid into the tub. This is the second story in a row that they put a kid in bath water. Scalding hot water. But police knew that that story did not add up. After taking the child to Norton Children's Hospital for an examination, Sanders said in addition to the severe burns on the boy's feet, legs, his buttocks, genitals, doctors found the child had suffered traumatic brain injury. Of course, we call that blunt force trauma. Along with bruises and fingernail marks on his hips and thighs, which are all in different stages of healing, which means that this has been going on for a long amount of time and the mom didn't give a crap. I'll come back to the mom. Put a pin in that, we'll come back to it. That's according to court records, hashtag not my words. A doctor said that the brain injury was an indication of shaken baby syndrome. In a recorded police interview, Kennedy-McLeod told investigators he shook the boy, according to court records. The 3-year-old's mother told police her son was not injured when she left him in the boyfriend's care, arrest records say. I'm going to read that sentence again very slowly, and I want y'all to catch what I caught when I read this. The 3-year-old's mother told police that her son was not injured when she left him in the boyfriend's care. Y'all smell that? Smell like shit. Y'all smell that? Does it stink in here to y'all? Can we get some poo emojis in the chat? Because that smells like a whole pile of horse crap. I want y'all to understand that they said medical examiners looked at this kid and said that he had various stages of healing injuries. But this boy was perfectly healthy, according to the mom, before she left. And before she left her son with her boyfriend, who was not a qualified goddamn babysitter. Like, you look at his face. What about this fool's face? Like that, if you look into his face, I'd say, yep, child molester. Uh-huh. Yep. Like, it's just when you look at the dude's face, I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong for saying that, but it just looked like he just got a abusive, child molester, pedophile looking face. Some people just look like they do nasty shit to kids. I want y'all to think, and the reason I said that, maybe some of y'all didn't catch that, I want y'all to remember his own words said that he gave this child a bath. Now I want y'all to keep in mind that the mom just left. Why would the kid need a bath when the mom just left? Couldn't the mom have given this child a bath before she left? A responsible mother would have. Matter of fact, a responsible mother wouldn't even have left her child with her boyfriend, let alone in an extended stay hotel, right? Not only that, but that proves that she's lying, that this kid was definitely injured before, during, and after. Because it had various stages of healing. So that means the mom is lying. That should be an arrestable offense right there. And let alone that, if you leave your child in the hands of somebody that murders your kid, like a boyfriend, I think there should be a special charge for something like that. Like you should, I don't know. There should be, I don't know what you could make up, but I just really, really feel very strongly about Women who continue to date these ain't shit dudes, because there's a lot of ain't shit dudes out there. But if you got kids already, then maybe you shouldn't be dating. Matter of fact, if you have to live in an extended stay hotel, maybe you shouldn't be having kids. Maybe you should not have custody of your kids. Maybe having a boyfriend should be the last fucking thing on your mind. Huh? Am I wrong for saying that? I don't know. I'm going to say it again, though. If you are having to live in an extended stay hotel, I personally believe that sex and a boyfriend should be the last thing on your mind. Priorities. Dick should be the last thing on your mind. Hello. But what do I know? I talk about these stories and I advocate for children. And you know what? I've actually seen where women come into my comment section, they email me, they say it all the time. And they come in and they say, I could tell that you gay. I could tell that you must like men. Do you like men? What's your sexuality? And I responded to one woman in particular. I'll probably post a screenshot in my community tab. So y'all got to keep it out of my community tab. I'm about to start putting on blast some of these people. I responded to her and I said, there's a child that's dead. And your mentality is so weak that you're worried about what I do in my personal time in my bedroom, and you're worried about my sexuality. When we have dead children who can't speak for themselves, can't defend themselves, and they're getting molested by mom's boyfriend. But you're worried about what I'm doing in my house. That's why this world sucks. Because people actually think that way. They're dumb enough to actually type it. That's what's wrong with our world. Our focus is on the wrong thing. But you know what this mom's focus was? She don't care about her kid. Her kid is dead. She don't care about her kid. She let her boyfriend give this kid a whole naked ass bath for no damn reason. There was no reason for this man to be getting that kid naked and putting that kid in a bath of scalding hot water. Babies for benefits. We give you guys the fair usage. Damn it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Y'all are asking, what does my shirt say? For the people who are watching live, it says babies for benefits, and at the bottom it says the AFC podcast advocates for children at YouTube. So that's what the bottom of the shirt says. But those are the link is in the description box if y'all want those. Anyway, let's finish talking about this. Here we go.
A 3-year-old boy has died, and his mother's boyfriend is in jail. Jeffersontown police charged Kennedy-McLeod with first-degree assault and child abuse after officers say the child was found with burns, bruises, and a traumatic brain injury. Wave 3 News reporter Tori Gessner with the details.
It all started here at this Jeffersontown extended stay hotel back in late November. Police responded to a call about a child with severe burns. When they showed up, Jeffersontown Police Chief Rick Sanders says officers found 3-year-old Rasir Oliver with burns covering the lower half of his body. Injuries, they say, came from a scalding hot bath. Also there, Keith Kennedy-McLeod, who was dating the boy's mother. According to Chief Sanders, he told police Oliver ran a hot bath, then got inside. The boy was taken to Norton Children's Hospital, where doctors say they found even more signs of abuse, bruises and fingernail marks to his hips and thighs, and a traumatic brain injury, according to court records. Medical staff told police the 3-year-old was a victim of shaken baby syndrome. Then, according to Chief Sanders, Kennedy-McLeod admitted to police he shook the boy. His mother told officers her son wasn't hurt when she left him in her boyfriend's care. The 3-year-old was in a coma for a month before he died December 28th. Police charged Kennedy-McLeod with first-degree assault and child abuse. On Friday, a judge granted him a $500,000 bond. He's currently being held at Louisville Metro Corrections. Chief Sanders says the case will be presented to a grand jury where more charges could come. In Louisville, Tori Gessner, Wave 3.
Facing charges following the death of a 3-year-old boy in Jeffersontown. Keith Kennedy-McLeod is currently charged with assault and criminal abuse. The 3-year-old victim was taken to a local hospital November 23rd with third-degree burns from a bathtub. Doctors then discovered head trauma and other injuries. After surgery, the boy was placed on life support and has since died. Police say Kennedy-McLeod was the boyfriend of the victim's mom. Bond was set at $100,000 cash.
Toddler is dead and his mother's boyfriend is in jail for abusing him in Jeffersontown. WDRB's Lexi Ratterman walks us through the trauma the boy suffered. Lexi?
Valerie, back in November, Jeffersontown police started investigating a case that involved a 3-year-old with third-degree burns. The man that police say actually caused those burns was arrested yesterday and faced a judge this morning. According to a warrant, the toddler's mother, who was going to work, left the boy with her boyfriend, whose name is Keith Kennedy-McLeod. The 3-year-old was left in the motel with him. Police say Kennedy-McLeod called police when the boy was unconscious. Police say the man caused the boy to get third-degree burns on his lower half from the bathtub, but Kennedy-McLeod claims the boy turned the water on himself and got in. When he was taken to the hospital, doctors say the boy had blunt.
Oh, did y'all hear that? And he had nerve to blame it on the kid. Let me back this up because I didn't hear that part. Listen at this again. They said that the boy turned on the water himself and got in. Listen at this.
The boy to get third-degree burns on his lower half from the bathtub, but Kennedy-McLeod claims the boy turned the water on himself and got in. When he was taken to the hospital, doctors say the boy had blunt force trauma to his head and swelling that was consistent with.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all heard that. I'm gonna rewind it one more time just to make sure that we heard that.
Police say the man caused the boy to get third-degree burns on his lower half from the bathtub, but Kennedy-McLeod claims the boy turned the water on himself and got in. When he was taken to the hospital, doctors say the boy had blunt force trauma to his head and swelling that was consistent with being shaken. Police say Kennedy-McLeod admitted to shaking the child. After surgery, the boy was put on life support but later taken off and in a coma for weeks. He died on December 29th.
The trauma this takes upon an officer is something we rarely talk about, but it is something that's difficult. But these officers will continue to do their job and try not to think about those things, but you have to think about them. When you get home at night and you see your own children, it just breaks your heart that things like this happen to children.
Right now, Kennedy-McLeod is charged with assault and child abuse, but J-Town Police Chief says murder charges are possible after investigators present the case to a grand jury. And right now, the mother is not charged, but the investigation is still ongoing. Kennedy-McLeod, who's actually from West Virginia, is now in jail with a $500,000 bond. Reporting live, Lexi Ratterman, WDRB News.
Here's my thing. There are no charges for the mom. But she clearly lied because she said that nothing was wrong with this kid before she left her kid at this nasty ass, filthy extended stay hotel with her boyfriend. When the kid was actually found to have various stages of previous injuries. That's a lie on the mom's behalf, and for that lie alone, that should be an arrestable, chargeable offense, because now we don't know what else she's actually telling the truth about and caused her own son's demise. So yes, I think that the mom is equally complicit in the murder of her son, but definitely this big old fat nasty idiot right here, they both need life in prison, and I think that should be a wrap for them. So it's really sad, man, for that 3-year-old little baby. Couldn't speak for itself, couldn't defend itself. It's just really sad So to that soul, I just want to say RIP, because we don't have a name and we don't have a face. But like I say, we are going to deal with these cases head on. We're going to be honest, and we're going to advocate for justice and hope that this man and the mother get life in prison. I'm DJ Just Jay with the AFC, where we advocate for children first. From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to click the thumbs up. It helps share the stream and lets more people know that we're here, okay? So participate and help us that way as well, okay? You guys have a great night. Thank you. Guys, that wraps our stream up. I want to say thank you to everybody who came through and listened. Look at that. Thank you again. Showing love. Y'all, look at how awesome she is. Leanne Engel sent in a $20 super chat, said the mom should be charged. Not only does she say it in the chat, but she says it with a kind donation out of the kindness of her budget and her heart. So thank you, Leanne Engel. Let me say thank you to everybody who was able to donate. Jimmy D, Angry Man. Wow, Melly, sheesh. Melly, are you in the chat? I missed yours. And Melly, wow, said, I'm back. God bless you, Jay. And I got to tell y'all, people support this platform. And matter of fact, you know, and hopefully one day this is something I could do full time. I think that would be awesome when we're able to get to that point and we could really do so much more, because I really want to dedicate my life to this thing, right? But I thank people like Melly and so many others who are able to find it in their heart and in their budget to donate, whether it be more humble amounts, because anything 4 quarters and above is greatly appreciated. There's so many people out there that know how I am, and I appreciate it all. I don't thumb my nose at anything. So I thank all of you guys from the humble amounts to the amounts that people were able to donate a bit more. Melly is right there in the chat, and I got to say thank you. She said, I'm back, and God bless you, Jay. And Melly sure did. I'm not going to even read your amount, but I will say, Melly, thank you so much. That is a fire donation. Thank you so much. Let me also say thank you, Guiltless, if you are listening. It's an honor to see you back in here showing some love. I want to say thank you. EDJ17, if you're still there, I want to thank you. If Candy Marmon is in the chat, I want to say thank you as well. Took on the $40 challenge. If you're out there listening, I hope you heard me shout you out earlier, but I want to shout you out again just because it was so dope, and I want to say thank you very much. On the PayPal side, wow. We got a big one in. Let me shout this person out real quick. Immortal said, I'm glad I found your channel, Immortal, for you subscribing and being here and participating. Look, I'm going to tell y'all, I sent the link to some people that I know it's very hard what I talk about to listen to. For people who have lived it, I know it's difficult to basically relive it and listen to this. And I know it's so hard for people to be here day in and day out. But like I said, I feel like that's what my calling is. I think that's what our mission is. And I'm thankful that that people are able to look this problem in the face. Because I know, if y'all are listening to me, I know it's very hard to listen to these cases day in and day out. This is not fun. It's hard. It hurts your heart. It makes it hard to sleep. You know, I have nightmares a lot of times about a lot of stuff. It's difficult. So for us to be so diligent, I promise y'all, if y'all have never heard me say this, I am absolutely honored. It is an honor and a privilege to serve you guys, okay? So thank you. I got to shout her out big time. Let me see. Tasha. Wow. This is is Tasha Mack in the chat? If you are, I hope you are. I cannot read you guys the amount. Wow. If you're listening, Tasha Mack, huge thank you. Huge thank you. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Lynn Eversley, if you're listening, thank you. Teresa Blake, donated like 3 or 4 times. I also want to say thank you to you as well. Tina Malone, if you're listening, said, I love everything that you do. It's always been facts. I've been watching for 4 months now. Tina Malone, if you're listening, I want to say thank you to you as well. And everybody, the super chat, all of our channel members. We even had a couple more people join on Patreon. And if you guys want me to start putting some exclusive content on there for Patreon, I could definitely start doing that, because I've already got about 5 videos I could put on there right now that are probably not going to be YouTube's what do you call that? Acceptable. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Show some love to our sponsors. They're all in the description box. Y'all have a great night. Peace.
North Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.norris915.com. www.norris915.com. That's right, www.norris915.com. Now,